Hello and welcome to the 67th annual Summer Fancy Food Show right here in Manhattan, New York, New York, the Big Apple. We are here at the Gellert Center, the 2023 Summer Fancy Food Show. It is so exciting. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Susan Choi. I am the Digital Media Director for the Food Institute. We are partnering with SFA to provide you with this live stream coverage so you can get a sense, the sights, the sounds, sadly not the smells and the tastes, maybe that'll come later as technology advances, but at least to get the sights and the sounds of this wonderful show, which year after year provides everyone from buyers to the general audience alike with the best that the specialty food industry has to offer, from sauces to jams, plant-based products, to cured meats, anything you can imagine, all sorts of beverages, all sorts of deli. It is right here at the Gellert Center because this is the 67th annual Summer Fancy Food Show. So exciting. I want to take a moment to thank our platinum sponsor, Atalanta Corporation. They are the country's largest privately held import company from any sort of specialty food, you name it, they have it. They span the globe looking for that perfect product that they can help distribute and market because they care about bringing the best to your table. Their slogan is to be a part of every food experience, and that certainly rings true for Atalanta Corporation. They're a wonderful company, and we thank them for their support. You can find out more information at www.atalantacorp.com. It is just so exciting here. It is day one of the show, and when we first got here, it was awesome. We've been doing this. This is the third time we're doing this live stream show. We did it for SFA last summer. We did it for them this winter, earlier this year. We're back again because it's so much fun, and it never ceases to amaze me. The excitement in the air, the energy that the exhibitors have, the curiosity and the interest of the attendees. Everything is there, all the energy and the good vibes. The exhibitors are here with their best smiles, turning on the charm. They want to show the best that they've got. They want to make new friends, get new connections, and get those purchase orders in. That is the name of the game. They want those products on store shelves, from the smallest gourmet retailer to the largest big box retailer. They are here and they are ready to get a piece of the action. I don't want to hold up this show any second longer. I'm going to take it to our first interview. She's a very special guest of ours. She is part of the wonderful team that makes this show happen every winter and every summer. She is the Vice President of Resource and Development for SFA, and her name is Denise Purcell. Denise, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Susan. Very happy to be here.
Well, first off, congratulations. Once again, you and your team have done it. Awesome job, great show. Tell me, how are you feeling right now?
I feel great. We all are so excited now that the show is open and seeing it all come to life. It's a lot of work for the whole SFA staff, but it's going to be a great show.
Awesome. All right. So out of the many things that you oversee, and you oversee a lot of things, and I know this because we have definitely been joined at the hip, basically, for the past, 2 weeks, as I'm sure you have been with many other people at the show. You are on top of trends. You are on top of the trends that you're seeing in the specialty food industry. So tell us, what are you seeing in the industry and at the show?
Oh my God. Well, there's so much, I don't even know where to begin. Indulgence, health, convenience, all kind of the big themes, right?
Okay.
But even heading into the show, and it just opened, so who knows what we're going to uncover. But we're seeing that crunchy snacks are huge. We just did our recent State of the Industry research, and chips and popcorn and snacks are the #1 category as far as retail sales, which is a first. So they have just taken off. We're seeing lots of different chips with alternative grains, popcorn, with like global Asian flavors, like bringing in those global flavors to everyday snacks, potato chips, pretzels, all of a sudden pretzels and every kind of flavor and variety. A lot of that we're seeing for convenience, a lot of refrigerated and frozen entrees, soups, non-alcoholic beverages. That was a big trend at the winter show as well, and it continues. There are, faux mimosas. There are wine alternatives. There are kits where you could make your own either cocktail or mocktail at home, just depending on whether you add alcohol or not. There is this really interesting, it's packaged like a tea bag, and it's a cocktail tea bag, basically. So it's got all of the ingredients, and you would add water to it to either make a cocktail or a mocktail. So really interesting stuff. Refrigerated or ready to drink coffee and tea is going to be really popular. A lot of innovations in that. Breakfast with benefits is one that we're calling it. It's breakfast foods with like hidden nutrients, right? So there is a frozen waffle out there with vegetables like mixed into it. Zucchini, I think it's a chocolate zucchini kind of flavor.
Okay.
So it's got hidden nutrients. It's packed with protein. Similar, there's a pancake mix like that. There are grain-free granolas. Anything with sort of a better for you kind of health aspect to it. And that's just for starters. That's just what we're seeing heading into it, what we think is on the radar. We've got a whole trend spotter panel working the show. So it's a group of buyers, whether they're from retail or food service, industry, market researchers, food educators. They all comb the show for us, and they report back every day on what they're finding. So many more trends to come, I'm sure.
Exactly. I definitely resonate with what you said earlier, the snacks. The snacking trend has been on the rise for a while. And we definitely at the Food Institute have been seeing that in our own research and coverage. Can I ask you, Denise, have you been seeing, alongside the general rise in consumer interest with snacks, have you seen a rise in, exhibitor applications, more exhibitors in the snack category, in this show or even in the winter show? Has that been also a trend like alongside of?
It has, because snacks is such a wide category too. We're seeing a lot of jerkies. We're seeing a lot of sweet treats. A lot of the crunchy snacks and the chips and things. Yeah, there has been more companies coming out with more innovations, and some of them are, grain-free, like I was mentioning, or alternative grains, or vegetable chips there are a lot of those out there. So yeah, there's been some really interesting innovation.
Interesting. What about within the beverage category, alcohol versus non-alcohol? I think actually Bill Lynch, the president of SFA, was telling us that, the non-alcoholic beverages, they have a strong presence at the show this year. Is there anything in particular that sets maybe certain non-alcoholic beverages apart from others, like sparkling versus non-sparkling, flavored versus non-flavored? Can you tell me anything about more specific trends within that category?
Well, they definitely run the gamut, whether it's sparkling or not. What I find really interesting about this category is it tends to be very heavily women-owned companies, which is sort of, I don't want to call it a trend, but sort of a movement of its own, like women-owned, diversity-owned, and that's what a lot of buyers are searching for. We have a whole pavilion for diversity-owned companies. But I think what really makes it stand out is the quality, because some of this really tastes like the real thing, and it gives the consumer the advantage of I'm not choosing not to drink for whatever reason, but I don't have to just stick to a seltzer or water. I can have something that's interesting, great flavors, kind of sophisticated, that pairs with a meal. There are some wines out there that, taste like the real thing. There's a new line of faux mimosas that I'm really eager to try. It kind of runs the gamut. Whiskeys. They're not at this show, but at the winter show, we saw a new spirit made with whey. So like really innovative, creative things that cross trends, because in that case, that is also an upcycled ingredient, which is another big trend. So yeah, some really interesting things.
That's really interesting. You just mentioned Diversity Pavilion. You mentioned Trend Spotter panel earlier. Just two of the many great features that the show has to offer this year. Denise, can you tell us a little more about other features of this show in particular that you're really proud of? Any special events or pavilions? Tell us more about what's at the show.
Yeah, we've got a couple of great things going on. We have certain pavilions that are category based, and this year we're adding some interactive areas to them. We're calling them pavilion pop-ups, and it's a place where people can go sample some of the products of the exhibitors in the pavilion, but also we're going to do pop-up talks based on trends and have buyers talking. So there are three. One in the plant-based pavilion that's called the Plant Packing District, because we gave it a little New York spin. We've got the lower cheese side in the deli pavilion, which entertains me. And we have
like the Lower East Side.
Exactly. And we've got Sips Bay, because we have Kips Bay here in New York. That's in the beverage pavilion. So we've got programming going on in those areas all through the show. It's a brand new feature. It's the first time we're doing it, but we're doing more interactive things on the show floor. And so we're really proud of that and excited and really curious to see how it takes off.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I love is the attention that you guys gave to, really creating more of a space for people to interact with, there to be like as much of a level of intimacy as you can create at a big show like this, because it can get quite overwhelming, right? It is exciting, but it can get overwhelming as well. Just there are thousands of people here right now, right? And even more streaming in. Tell us about, the importance, your motivation when you were creating these new features, the pop-up talks, these different areas where people could congregate, how that ties into, the main point of the specialty food industry.
Sure. Well, there are two things. One, there are many different ways to do education sessions, right? You have your traditional ones where you sit and you are learning something from somebody who's doing a lecture, and that's great. And we have a whole program for that as well. But there are interactive ways of tasting, about hearing about the trends, paired with a sampling, quick talks from buyers talking about how they buy in that category. And more we're seeing trade shows incorporate things like that. And in addition to being a big trade show, we're a specialty food community. And networking and interactivity and even an element of fun, that's all what our audience wants. It's all what, we're here to provide at the show so that we can make those connections. And so that's been, kind of the impetus and the focus behind doing more on the show floor.
That makes a lot of sense. Denise, I want to hear more from you about the Taste It Live stage. Can you tell us more about that?
Sure. That is largely international focused. We have 60 countries represented here in international pavilions and even on their own. So they do demos at Taste It Live. We have Italy doing a bunch, Morocco is doing a bunch, and you learn about the foods of that country. You get to watch the demo of an actual chef preparing it, and you get to taste it. So that'll be happening all throughout the show as well.
That's amazing. I envy my camera person later on because she's going to be there. She's going to film the Taste It Live, the Italy demo.
Oh, interesting.
And that's gonna be very exciting. I mean, who wouldn't want to be in Italy?
Yeah, you can't go wrong anywhere on the show floor.
yeah, exactly. Denise, tell me, what are some ways people can follow the coverage of the trends during the show and after the show?
Great question. We have our daily show newsletter, SFA News Daily, where we'll be talking about product innovations and trends and that. We also have a panel on Tuesday for anybody who is here, where we're going to have some of our Trend Spotter panel representatives talking about the trends they've seen so far. So we'll be covering that. And, we cover trends throughout the year. So certainly through our media platforms and on our website. We also just released, as I mentioned, our State of the Industry research. And part of that is category forecasts for the next 5 years. So a lot of the trends that we're looking for at this show is gleaned from that.
Yes, and I do have to say I was able to get a sneak peek. Thanks for that, Denise. Plug for the State of the Industry. I mean, you guys always put out a great, well-researched report every year, and this is no exception. It's very informative. I definitely recommend that people go to specialtyfood.com, check out the State of the Industry report 2023. It's very well done.
Thank you.
What about you, Denise, personally? I know you put this on twice a year. You put the show on twice a year, and there's so many things happening. But is there anything in particular that you are looking forward, to seeing at the show, whether it's a product, a pavilion, an event? What are some things that you're excited about for the show?
You know what? In addition to the things I mentioned, we have some events after the show closes. Tonight we're doing our Lifetime Achievement Awards and our Hall of Fame. Tomorrow night we're doing a pitch competition for new products that we're partnering with Naturally New York on. So I'm really looking forward to kind of both ends of the spectrum there, because you see the new companies coming in and the innovations and what's to come in the pitch competition. Then we also get to honor all of these people who are basically the pioneers of the specialty food industry and who, have put decades of work into helping build it.
I remember, taking a look at, when I was busy researching for this live stream, taking a look at the Lifetime Achievement Award winners and the Hall of Fame winners. Just such amazing people that have accomplished so much in their career and also have done so much for their community, because that's part of the criteria for these awards. Not only have they been successful in their own right, but they do work to make an impact on the environment around them. Right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
helping build the industry, and there are so many ways that they've done that. We've had people there who have devoted a lot of time to mentoring young companies. Some companies who were here at the beginning, they have been around maybe 70 years, and they started out importing products and built a company around it.
Exactly. You make your mark, but you also help pay it forward, right? That's what keeps the industry going. All right. Well, Denise Purcell, Vice President of Resource and Development for the Specialty Food Association. Denise, thank you so much for joining us. Always a pleasure. A great friend of the Food Institute.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we are going to move on along to our on-the-floor coverage. That's where all the action is. I believe Mr. Ron Tanner is at the First Time Exhibitors Pavilion, and he's got some great things to show for us. Ron, what do you have? I'm going to take it over to you.
Well, thank you very much, Susan. We're here at the First Time Exhibitors Pavilion, where there are companies here who have never been to the Fancy Food Show before. There have been many companies that have been here for 67, 70 years, as Denise was saying, but this is all the first time. So we're going to walk around, we're going to talk to a few of these companies who have very exciting, and I'd say somewhat innovative and maybe a little bit unusual products. So we're walking through the pavilion here, and we are going to go over and visit a company that has Antarctic krill meat. I'm not sure if anybody has ever tasted Antarctic krill meat, but we are going to go and be learning about it here from Alfredo. Alfredo, could you tell us a little bit about your company and about the krill meat?
Yeah. So krill meat is a new protein that's just been available to the United States 90 days ago. And krill is the beginning of the Antarctic food chain. Starts with phytoplankton, and then our krill eat the phytoplankton. We then process it on board our factory vessel. Shells are removed, product is cleaned, heated, and block frozen. It's then brought to land, where we heat seal it in cans. It's water and natural oil. Krill meat, again, is the same animal that you produce the krill oil supplements from. So naturally, we would get all of those same nutrients and proteins from the animal itself.
And how would people eat it? Is it eaten like a shrimp or like an appetizer? Or how would you serve it? How do you serve it in your house? I'm sure you eat krill meat all the time, right?
Interestingly enough, we serve it in our house straight out of the can, black pepper, a little lemon, and that's exactly how it's here right now. We didn't want to use too much. We wanted it to taste natural. And it really can be used any way you use crab meat. Same applications, side by side, and it cook up the same. And go right over salads. It's a great protein replacement. Like I said, right out of the can, over a bed of lettuce or a bed of spinach, and it's really great for on the go. It's very light, it's nutrient dense, and it's the newest option out there.
Well, thank you very much. Good luck at the show. I hope it goes well for you. We're going to move on here. Thank you. We're heading over to Hive to Table Honey Farms, and we're going to be speaking to Jamie. Ron Tanner from the Food Institute. We're broadcasting live from the show. I'd like to hear a little bit about your company.
I'm sorry?
About your company, about Hive to Farms.
So Hive to Table Farms was formed about a year and a half ago. Accumulation of a company, Fisher was 1935, that we acquired about 6 years ago. And then Kelly's acquired about 3 years ago. Acquired Ziegler's, which dates back to 1935, about a year and a half ago. And then we birthed Jamie's Hive to Table about 6 years ago and went national with that. So we try to do 4 different brands, regional brands, local brands, and national brands.
So how many honey hives do you all have? And are you a honey farmer?
So I own half the company, owns the other half, and there are about 15,000 hives that we have in Texas mostly, and then take them out to California for pollination in March, and then they'll go up to the Dakotas here in a few weeks and do clover, alfalfa, and canola.
Must be an interesting industry, I would think.
Fantastic. It's the only, the insect, the bee, is the only byproduct of food that humans eat from insects.
What are you expecting at the Fancy Food Show? This is your first time here. What would you like to get out of the show?
Just really exposure, most part, and then we're looking to build our distributor network out. There's a lot of people that would use our products or need our products, but they're not been on a distribution channel yet. That we want to do more mass distribution.
I know this is like choosing your favorite child, but which one of your honeys do you like the best? Could you show us?
Yeah, and honeycomb in the country. We probably buy about 85% of the honeycomb in the U.S. and we're looking to bring that to more people's homes that don't have it now and don't have exposure to it or don't know what it's about. So there's a lot of unknown talent about what the honeycomb can do for you and nutritional for you, etc.
And what do people do with the honeycomb?
The number one usage is charcuterie boards, so meats, cheeses, spreads. But I put it in my smoothie, read it straight. So a variety of things there.
Well, good luck at the show. I hope it goes well for you. Thank you. Going to keep walking down here. We've got nuts on one side. We've got sweet trees on the other side. Lots of different things going on here. Got Cornhusker Kitchen. We've got Belly Well, which is a good name for a company, I think. And we are heading down to one of the new product winners, one of the Sofi new product winners here at the end of the so over to hello. You look like you're working hard, but we want to ask you a few questions. So, Ron Tanner from the Food Institute. Okay. Yeah. Tell us a little bit about your company, why you wanted to exhibit at the Fancy Food Show, and particularly what it meant to win a Sofi Award.
Oh, nice. So for us, we are a small Indian food manufacturer. We're based in New Jersey, and we manufacture these amazing Indian flatbread called roti. And all of our products here are no preservatives, and all of them are like vegan and health, and we try and keep like as clean ingredients. And we just recently won a Sofi Award for our Methi roti, so we're very excited to be able to exhibit here.
And what is the flavor of those? Can you get one and taste it for us? I want to make sure you eat your own food. They're warming it up a little bit because roti is usually eaten hot out of an oven. Okay, I want to see you taste it. Huh? I want to see you taste it.
Oh, me? I love my rotis on here. Can you give me one? Can you pass me one? Can you pass me one? Thank you. Thank you so much. So for us,
So yeah, if you could describe the taste to us as you're eating it, and also how people would use it in their homes.
so for us, you can with the smell and then the taste wise, you can taste the fenugreek leaves that's in here. You can see the turmeric that's giving it the nice yellow taste to it, and we keep all of our products are clean ingredients. So anything that mom makes at home, like that's how.
Well, it's got a good trace. Good luck. I hope you have a good Fancy Food Show. See you on Tuesday. And here we are finishing up, and we are going to throw it back to Susan.
Hey, Ron Tanner, always a pleasure. We call him the mayor of the food industry because he knows everything and everyone knows him. So thank you very much for that great look at the First Time Exhibitors Pavilion, Ron. I am here now with my next guest, another great friend of the Food Institute. He is professor of Food and Hospitality Management at Drexel University, and he is the director of the Drexel Food Lab at Drexel University as well. He's just the man on campus, basically. That should be your title, the man on campus.
If Ron is the mayor, I'm happy to be the man on
yeah,
campus.
that's right. I love that. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this guy, if you need to know about food trends, if you need to know about flavor, if you need to know about relevant issues in the food industry, he's the guy to go to. Jonathan Deutsch, thank you so much for joining us once again.
Thanks. Thrilled to be here again.
Yeah. So tell me, what's your initial thoughts of the show so far? Day one, in the morning?
Day one, we're only an hour in, so be gentle in terms of what I'm seeing and the trends. I've made it through about 2 aisles, saw a million friends already.
Progress.
That's progress. Overwhelming, huge, and I'm full already. So somehow, but there's a lot of energy, a lot of excitement. Everywhere I look, I would say one thing is better for you. It's almost impossible to see just a typical product. This is a better for you version of something that's already out there. We're seeing a lot of that. And we're also seeing a lot of high-end, really flavorful sort of luxury products that can enhance home cooking and also restaurant meals.
Okay, tell us more about that when you say luxury. So how do you
So, I think for a lot of people, there's salt and pepper, but at the Fancy Food Show, there's volcanic lava salt, and there's specific peppercorns for specific uses, and consumers are getting a lot savvier. Chefs have long been savvy to the distinctions, but I think as more people got comfortable with home cooking during COVID lockdown, as people are trying to be a little bit thriftier and maybe dine out a bit less, this is a good way to indulge, but still at a fraction of the price of a fine dining restaurant meal.
I see. When you mentioned the variety of salts, variety of seasonings, that reminded me, I did see a lot of that in winter fancy food, seeing a lot of pink salt, Himalayan desert salt. Saw a lot of that, and also different types of peppercorns as well. Really interesting. I mean, what other things are you seeing that you are particularly excited about?
One thing I love, I'm a chili head, and when I was coming up in the industry, there was a sort of hot or not distinction. Is it spicy? Is it not spicy? But what we're seeing now is just so much nuance of the kinds of spice and the kinds of heat. And is it on the front of the palate, the back of the palate? Is it combined with other aromatics and spices, or is it simply, delivering that chili flavor? Is it fermented? Is it pickled in hot fill, cooked or fermented cold? So there's just the hot sauce sophistication has gotten so much better. It's always been a busy category for the Fancy Food Show, but it's often been more a branding play. Here's my, butt kicking super hot, and here's my ghost pepper extra hot. You still see some of that, but what you're seeing now that really excites me are traditional recipes, traditional chilies brought to the market in different ways. And I hate the word authentic, but traditional ways, ways that have some soul and some legs, and it's really exciting to taste.
I love your talk about chili. I mean, being Asian, being Korean specifically, we also love our chili spice. And I was actually talking with a friend of mine this morning who's Mexican American. We were talking about chili sauce. She was talking about the kinds of hot sauce she loves, and I was mentioning different brands. Tapatio was one that a friend of mine loves, who's also Mexican, and she was like, "Oh yeah, that's more vinegary." And I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that." So it's to your point. And then she was telling me, "Oh, this one, like Cholula, it's a little more savory. It's not like she thinks it's not that hot." So it's like what you were saying before, like how does it hit the palate? It's not just is it spicy, is it not spicy? It's very fascinating. Jonathan, tell me your thoughts about snacking. We just talked to Denise Purcell, and she was saying snacks is a big thing that's on the rise. We've seen it in our own research. I want to hear your take on it. It's nice to get different opinions from different experts. Tell me about what you're seeing in snacking. Personally.
I'm seeing snacking everywhere. It's a huge category. I don't know how people can eat this many snacks and not all be huge, but somehow people are managing. And I think one theme you're seeing on the snack is the better for you. So almost every snack I've seen today has some wrinkle of this is better for you, or this is functional, or it's not just a chip, right? It's a chip in a good fat. So that's going to have some positive health effects. It's not just a puff. It's a puff that's then coated in ashwagandha or something to provide some other functionality. So people are being a lot more, it used to be enough to have a snack that was just tasty. and more-ish, meaning you wanted to keep eating more and more. And now that's a given. It's got to be tasty. It's got to be craveable. But in addition, it also has to be better for you, functional, sustainable. And we're seeing a lot of interesting stuff in that category. We're also seeing a lot more interesting flavors. Like I had Jamaican jerk chip that was really over the top delicious this morning. I had some popcorn that was really craveable. I could have eaten the whole bag. So it's an exciting category. It's also from a sort of cultural foods perspective. It's a category that people are open to experimenting with. So the center of plate things, your meat, your starches, people are a little resistant to innovation, right? I'm very happy with rice the way it is. I don't need your new version of rice, right? But for something that's peripheral, beverages, sweets, and snacks, that's where I want excitement and innovation, right? That's where I want something I've never seen before, and there's a lot of things I've never seen before just in walking the floor my first hour today.
And as you were walking the floor, seeing all of these products, and you're telling me, okay, these are the trends that exhibitors are putting out. But knowing what you know about the consumer base, were you thinking to yourself, for the most part, okay, yeah, these products I can see based on what I know about consumers, this is what they want. Like, people are going to actually respond to these products. What's your take?
I think so. I mean, that in the Drexel Food Lab, that's a key question. We work with a lot of entrepreneurs and startups who have great recipes and great ideas. But the core question is always, what problem is this solving for the consumer? Because you have a very limited stomach share. If you have a snack, that means you're not eating a different snack, right? And the example I always give in teaching, we only have 2 feet, but we have plenty of pairs of shoes in our closet, right? And there's really no limit. We can have more and more and more and wear them on occasion. But with stomach, you're only going to have one lunch today. And so whatever you decide to have for lunch is at the expense of what you're not eating. And so that's really the challenge. It's not, can I make a really delicious product or a really delicious snack? It's how can I hit the consumer where they're and solve a problem for them, hit them where they are, really make life better for them in that moment. And that's a very challenging thing to do.
I love that point, because it's, to me, as just regular person, it would seem like most important thing is making the product good. But this is very interesting. You're thinking about, there's lots of delicious products out there, but what is it that makes your product stand out in that way? Is it solving a particular problem? Right. That's really interesting. Well, I was going to ask this. You're much better than me. You're already answering a question that I had. So on top of that, is this problem solving as well as taste, quality? I'm sure. What's another part of the criteria that you think, in your experience working with businesses, developing products? What's another asset or attribute or two criteria that you think businesses need to keep top of mind?
Sure.
When they're developing them?
First and foremost, it has to be delicious. Yeah. There's a lot of products that lead with the messaging. Mm-hmm. It's better for you, it's healthy, it's sustainable. That's all wonderful. But if it's not delicious, you have one sale and it's your last sale. So it has to be something that you actually want to eat. Then beyond that, we do know that consumers are looking for more than just flavor. They're looking for ethical sourcing of ingredients. They're looking for upcycled or sustainable products. There's an upcycled food booth from the Upcycled Food Association this year, I think for the first time. That's very exciting. They're looking for a story. Is it a founder? Who's the ownership? Is it a person I can talk to? Is it a person I can identify with and get excited about their story? And the challenging thing for food entrepreneurs and food marketers is you have to very succinctly convey all of that stuff on your package, because consumers take about 2 seconds to look at something and either throw it in their cart or put it back on the shelf. And that's a very critical moment and a very challenging moment.
Very well said. So many insights. I wish I could have you on for longer. That's all the time we have. Jonathan Deutsch, a professor of food and hospitality management and director of Drexel Food Lab at Drexel University. Jonathan, thanks again for your time.
Pleasure is mine. Happy to
Thank
come
you.
back. Thanks.
All right. Well, that is a wrap for our first block. I'm so excited that we have been giving you all the best on the ground and coverage and interviews of the Summer Fancy Food Show. And we're going to take a quick commercial break, but we'll be back with more from the Specialty Food Association's 67th annual Summer Fancy Food Show in New York City, New York. Stay with us. All right, we are back at the 2023 67th Annual Summer Fancy Food Show, coming to you live from the Javits Center in New York City, New York, New York. The city is so nice they named it twice. I am Susan Choi, Digital Media Director of the Food Institute. We are partnering with the Specialty Food Association to provide you with live stream coverage of this event. And I'm really excited because we're going to take it right now to the Deli Pavilion area, specifically the Lower Cheese Side. Does that ring a bell? Taking after the Lower East Side, we're going to see a talk right now that's being given by Adrienne Messe. She's the Associate Director for Events and Solutions for the Organic Trade Association. She's going to give a talk about all the insights, trends, forecasts for 2023 regarding the organic industry. I hope you enjoy it. Let's take a look right now.
Breads and grains, $6.5 billion category, and there was a growth of 4.6% in breads and grains in 2022. This category sees a lot of ups and downs consistently throughout the years. So there's a lot of health conscious shoppers and consumers and people in general. There's a lot of food diet fads that are low carb or maybe keto that have been popping up a lot in the last couple of years, and that tends to directly reflect these breads and grains numbers in terms of sales. In 2022, cereals and breakfast goods were doing particularly well. Cereal is an interesting economic indicator. So while we're happy for our cereal producers out there that they had some more sales in 2022, people buying cereal is usually an indication of relatively low economic activity because people are usually buying cereal because it's a relatively inexpensive way to feed a lot of people. So it's kind of a mixed bag in terms of success there as the indication that the economy maybe isn't doing as well, which we knew. We knew that. The two largest rice growing states, Texas and California, saw growth also in 2022. But again, there was drought and the numbers were really low during that time in 2020, 2021. So I think this is an indication that we're kind of coming out of that drought in those states and they're able to be selling more now. Sweet and salty snacks. I think there's a lot of this here at the Specialty Food Association shows always. There was 5% growth in this category in 2022. 37% of organic snack foods are salty snacks, and that grew by about 1%. So I think that aligns with what I usually go for is a salty snack, but other people are too. Another interesting.
All right. Well, that was just a snapshot of what is going on the floor of the Summer Fancy Food Show happening in the Lower Cheese Side of the Deli Pavilion. A talk given by Adrienne Messe, Associate Director of Events and Solutions for the Organic Trade Association. Just a snippet of the kind of action that's happening on the show floor, a push by the SFA to provide more intimate, more educational environments for attendees, and not just, roaming around the show floor from 10 to 4, giving attendees a chance to stop and get some information, maybe to make some connections that sort of thing. We are going to continue with our on-the-ground coverage by going to our very own Food Institute remote reporter, Jordan Wickland, who is also at the Deli Pavilion, and he's going to take you through an inside look of the pavilion, and he's going to show us the best of what they've got. So Jordan, take it away. What do you have for us?
That's right, Susan. It's day one of the Specialty Food Association Summer Fancy Food Show, and I am in the Deli Pavilion. You know, everybody wants to rule the world, but most would settle for a good bite of cheese or maybe a deli snack. And that's what we're here to explore today. Our first stop is right behind me, a Japanese company called Lakanto of about 40-ish years. Lakanto is at the cutting edge of the better-for-you food and snacking trend with an all-natural monk fruit sugar replacement. And I'm with Matt Manning, Vice President of Sales at Lakanto. Matt, how goes the show?
Hey, fantastic so far, man. Lots of people, lots of crowd. It's been a great show so far.
Wonderful. Well, tell us a little bit about monk fruit sweetener. What is a monk fruit? Where does it come from? And, what's going on with these products?
Lakanto's very, very passionate about the monk fruit. So monk fruit is a specific fruit grown in the mountain lands of Southeast China. The unique properties of that is that it's a very sweet fruit. So our founder at one point was diagnosed with diabetes. Thus began his search for an all-natural sugar replacement instead of the artificial products that were out there. And so when he discovered the monk fruit, he realized, hey, I can create that sugar replacement. And thus we have it. And it's completely natural and a great product.
Wonderful. Yeah, it looks great. I know that we cover Ozempic a lot, a little bit of how the better for you movement and the kind of constant battle against sugar goes for snacking companies the world over. And, it looks like we have a wide variety of products, not only the sweetener itself, which can be added to everything from water to maybe lemonade, but, tell us some other applications of where Lakanto might make sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's one of the impressions there with someone diagnosed with diabetes, or if you just choose to go sugar-free. Neither one of those choices are necessarily an easy transition. And so to be able to have options is what's important. So our founder, who created the actual sweeteners, then asked us here in the United States to create a line of products that would replace sugar from their diet. So whether it's chocolate products or baking mixes or snacks, regardless, we want to make sure that there are options for that community.
Absolutely, and we cover snacking a lot at the Food Institute. The Better For You segment is estimated to be about $100 billion right now, maybe as much as $150 billion by 2030. How does Lakanto continue to distinguish itself, or maybe what's coming next from this unique company?
Absolutely, Lakanto was the originator of this whole monk fruit landscape. So the monk fruit started with Lakanto 30 years ago. We just brought it to the States 8 years ago. So the concept to the United States was very new. What we plan to do is make monk fruit a very well-known product throughout the country. Again, because it's an option for that diabetic, keto, sugar-free community. It's a safe choice for those folks to use. And so you're going to see plenty of innovation over the years, even so much that we're getting into the condiment section of your grocery stores. So there's a multitude of things we can do to replace sugar from our diet. We'd be shocked, I think, if we really looked into how much sugar we consume.
So is this product available like direct to consumer, retail, grocery?
Yeah, either or. So obviously at lakanto.com, on our home Amazon page, most grocery stores across the country will at least have our sweeteners, if not a multitude of our other products. But you can always find Lakanto. Just search us out and you'll find us.
Well, thank you so much. That's Matt Manning, Vice President of Sales with Lakanto. I hope you guys have a great show. We'll see you out here.
Hey, appreciate it. We're having fun.
All right, now we're going to jump across the aisle a little bit. There's a barrage of fromage, if you will, all around the Deli Pavilion. And we are going to go from, Mount Fiji to the farms of Maine, along with a company called Balfour Farm. I am with Heather Donahue, cheesemonger, bookmaker, Jill of all trades. Heather, welcome to the Specialty Food Association Summer Show.
Thank you, Jordan. It's nice to be here.
Tell us a little bit about Balfour Farm, how long you've been around, and some of the products you're bringing to market.
Sure. So Balfour Farm is a certified organic dairy farm. We're off the grid and we're a farmstead creamery. So all of our products are made with milk from our Normandy herd. And we make a variety of raw milk aged cheeses, fresh cheeses, and ripened cheeses.
So the cheese industry has just been completely transformed, along with the protein industry, along with like cell cultured meat, vegan cheese. How does a traditional farm continue to not only stay relevant but reach market?
So our market is really, we reach out to people that are looking for healthy foods produced in a sustainable way. So not only are we certified organic, which speaks to the practices for making our milk, how we farm and how we produce our cheeses, but we're also completely off the grid and we use solar power for about 85% of our power needs. And then the other thing is that we age our cheese in a cave, in an underground space specifically built for aging cheese. And that lowers our carbon footprint on maintaining those cheeses, which we think is really important, especially being off the grid. We have limited power to deal with. So those are kind of some of the special things that we do on our farm.
Thank you. Love it when a client says all the buzzwords for me. I noticed a few medals here. Can you tell me a little bit about some of the recognition your farm has achieved?
Sure. So last year we were really pleased to have been awarded a first place and a second place at the American Cheese Society judging competition in July. And that was for our Smoky Ghost Cheddar and for our Bev, which is a soft spreadable cow's milk version of Chev. And we also have several awards that we've won at the Big E Gold Cheese Competition, and that's a more regional competition in Massachusetts at the Eastern States Exposition. And we earned 2 medals at that in 2019 as well.
Wonderful. What does it take to equip a farm with solar and with ultra modern and contemporary technology in order to produce a better product? Has that been a tough endeavor to scale, or one thing at a time?
It's been really interesting, starting with assessing what all of our equipment is and what the usage of electricity is. And we worked with a great company that works with off-the-grid systems. And that's been key, is to find the right producer that can actually put the system into place for us and help us maintain it. And right now we're looking at, because we're expanding the dairy and making more milk, we have more equipment. So we're actually expanding our solar production as well. And we hope to have that project started later on this year.
Well, congratulations. It's so interesting that we live in an industry and in a time when cutting edge also sort of makes common sense, when you can combine the solar and sort of age, our foods naturally and continue to produce a delicious, viable product. I had the chance to try some of the Smoky Ghost earlier. It melted in the mouth, and then only once I had swallowed a little bit of it did the pleasant heat come. Was the development of that product, did that take time to get the right amount of smokiness? Because spice is a growing trend. We cover it all the time.
Yeah, it is tricky when you're talking about hot and heat, because everyone has such a different palate. And so we're really looking to go kind of middle of the road. Something that might be a little bit much for somebody that's very heat challenged, and somebody that really likes a lot of heat will still appreciate it and leave them wanting more.
Well, I want more. What's next for Balfour Farm, and where can we find you?
So Balfour Farm is pretty much self-distributed within Maine and New England. Next for us is really dialing in our aging. It's only the second year we've had our aging cave up and running. And because it's naturally cooled space, it's kind of a learning curve of what the weather brings us as far as what that's going to be. So it's an ever-changing environment. So we're having a lot of fun learning how to live within that.
As long as the cows are happy. Heather, thank you so much.
It was great talking with you. Thank you.
Thank you. That's Jordan Wickland and the Food Institute, live from day one of the Summer Fancy Food Show in beautiful New York, New York.
And Wickland, the man with the master plan, I love it, giving us the best of what the Deli Pavilion has to offer here at the Summer Fancy Food Show 2023, live from New York, New York at the Javits Center. I am very excited right now because we have a particularly special guest. I mean, I know I've been saying that the whole show, that we have special guests, but this guy really is special. I mean, he is the head of the household, if you will. He's the dad of the Specialty Food Association. Everyone knows him and loves him. This is Bill Lynch, ladies and gentlemen, president of the SFA. Bill, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Susan. And yeah, you can tell by my gray hairs that I do feel like a dad. But I'll say I'm a very proud dad today because our staff, who I won't call our kids, but I'm just incredibly grateful to be working with this group of people, and what they've put together here for this show and for our community of members is just amazing.
Absolutely. And what a great team it is. I was just telling you earlier, it's such a pleasure working with them, working hard, putting out those last minute fires. But I do want to ask you, Bill, just as you were starting to say, overall thoughts, day one, right? We're like about an hour and a half in. You just did that ribbon cutting. Brittany, if you want to pull that up, my lovely producer, we caught that ribbon cutting earlier this morning. It was so great.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Exhibitors. Thousands of attendees. What are your thoughts right now? How are you feeling?
I guess humble is the word I would use. Just the outpouring of support from the community, both attendees and exhibitors. And it's just been a whirlwind of activity this morning, as you can imagine, running from one event to the other. And this show in particular is just, we're so proud of it. And we're back to pre-pandemic status in terms of the outpouring of community support. The exhibit space was sold out. We exceeded our goals by quite a bit in that regard. The attendance was tracking ahead by double digits. We won't know what the final results are, but we were really encouraged by the amount of support coming in from the buyers that were attending the show. And just the, as you mentioned, the international community, over 60 countries represented. We've got over 300 new first-time exhibitors, and it's just amazing. And the Kingdom of Morocco, I need to reference them as well.
Yes.
For the first time ever, they've become the host country sponsor for this year's show. And we've had a long-standing relationship with the Kingdom of Morocco for over 20 years.
Oh, wow.
So to see their development and growth from where they started to where they are today is just truly inspiring.
That is amazing. I love that. Bill, I want to talk to you a little bit about that great report that the association put out, the State of the Industry report, where it says that the sales, the industry worth, it's set to exceed $200 billion this year. Tell us your thoughts on that, and also what are the growth drivers for that in your opinion?
Yeah, we're very proud of that, and I believe by end of 2023 we'll end up around roughly 207 billion,
Amazing.
and that's up from 194 billion last year. So despite the challenges with recession and pricing and labor shortage and things like that, the specialty food industry in particular has really found a way to always be sort of bulletproof in that regard. And, I think really what it comes down to is the drivers for that growth is the U.S. consumers' demand for quality products, more about understanding what they're putting into their bodies, clean ingredients, becoming more sophisticated and wanting to understand the stories behind the products. And so, the Specialty Food Association and our fancy food shows really put forth what's innovative in food, and the U.S. buyers come to the shows knowing that they're looking for that food innovation. And as you can tell by today's attendance and whatnot, the shows, in-person events, are incredibly important. And there's nothing you can replicate in terms of being face to face, tasting the products, smelling, and just all the senses are really invigorated when you come to the show. So the growth continues to be very strong, and we're very proud of that, and helping facilitate that.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I love what you just mentioned. It's really all about making those face-to-face connections. There's really nothing like it. But we're also really proud at the Food Institute that we're partnering with SFA to provide live stream coverage, because there are many reasons for why people aren't able to make it. Can you talk to us about, your thoughts about this live stream coverage, about digital coverage, of shows like these, the benefits of that, the importance of that?
Oh, absolutely. We're incredibly grateful for our relationship with the Food Institute and for your coverage now for, gosh, it seems like at least a couple of years now we've been doing this.
Yes.
And, it really allows folks that are not able to attend the shows for whatever reason that might be to get a sense of what's going on here. The person in the aisle interviews are fantastic. Kind of gives you a flavor for the personalities that are out there and the different activities that are happening at the show. So it's incredibly important. It provides an avenue for access, and we want to create an inclusive community of participants, and whether that can be in person or via digital means, we want to make sure we've got all avenues covered. As you can imagine, there's nothing that really replicates the experience of being in person here at the fancy food shows. Just again, the face-to-face connections, the relationships that you foster, the ability to taste the products and really hear the inspiring stories. It really is just an event that you really got to experience firsthand, but the second best thing to experiencing it firsthand is via means like this. And we can't be more thankful for your support in that.
Oh, well, thank you for saying that. And obviously our motivation is to get people to watch secondhand so that they can be enticed to come and see the show firsthand,
yes,
right?
Please.
Specialtyfood.com to learn more about how you can attend next year,
Yes,
right?
Absolutely.
Now, the next show will be the Winter Fancy Food Show
Yes.
2024. So there are two different shows. There's a winter show and a summer show. What do you love in particular for you about the summer show?
Wow, there's a lot, and I probably could go on for another hour about all the great things I love about this show. I would say probably the thing I'm most excited to experience is actually this evening, where we recognize trailblazers in our industry.
Right.
I'm fortunate to have known a few of these folks now for over 20 years, and just to hear their stories, learn from them, and then to see them recognized by their peers in the industry is always so inspiring. So I have the opportunity to present them with awards this evening, and it's going to be a special moment for me as well as them and their families. We've got Giada De Laurentiis tomorrow at the keynote. Everybody's super excited about that. And I would say that probably the third thing is that we've started these new activations at the shows. And one of the things that we love about the fancy food shows is that we try to create more dynamic and engaging experiences for the participants. So we don't want to just fill exhibit halls with aisle after aisle of exhibits. And what we're trying to do is create different activations and opportunities to engage with content, do some tastings, have conversations and community around different activations. So we've got Sips Bay, we've got the Plant Packing District, and there's a third
Lower
one.
Cheese Side
Lower Cheese
that we
Side.
just saw
I can't
earlier.
forget that. So, and so those are really cool new things that we're doing, and just a lot of excitement around that.
Absolutely. Bill, another question I want to ask is, along the line of shows in general, there are other shows out there like the Summer Fancy Food
Yes.
Show, Winter Fancy Food Show, compared to things like Expo West, the Plant-Based World Expo, SFA, the Fancy Food Show, it covers a much wider range of products, as compared to those particular shows that focus on a particular, series of categories. How do you see specialty food evolving, especially in the midst of emerging highly niche categories?
Sure. So we see the Specialty Food Association as the umbrella of all specialty. And so when our buyers come to the show, they really shop the entire store, so to speak. So we represent probably roughly 48 categories, product categories. So it's sort of like the one-stop shop where a buyer can really experience everything, from plant-based, from cheese to olive oils and natural and organic and halal, kosher. And it's just, it's really sort of like represents what we're trying to build, which is a diverse community of food producers and buyers. And so this is really the destination for the community to get together. And, those other shows are fantastic as well. And, our mission is bigger than just doing trade shows. As an association, as a not-for-profit, we're really, this organization was created by the members for the members. So we really want to see the success of all our members. So if that means they're going to participate in the fancy food show and that'll help grow their business, we're full support of that. If that means that there's other opportunities beyond what we can offer, we support that as well. We want to get people what they need to be successful.
Right. Last question for you, along these lines of, how the SFA, really encourages, educates, supports, your members, part of the specialty community. We're officially out of COVID, but there are challenges that still remain. What are some essential issues or strategies that specialty food producers, business owners must face, to be successful, and to overcome, especially, this year moving forward?
Right. Well, I would say that consumers, they are willing to pay a higher price for specialty products because they know they're getting great quality and a special experience. That doesn't mean that we don't have to be very sensitive to pricing. And so, for the producers of these products and the buying community as well, they really need to be cognizant of the pricing. It's top of mind for everybody these days when, there's certain challenges that we're facing in the economy and so it's going to be really important for us to help support our members in a way that helps them sort of identify what those concerns are through our research that we do. We do consumer research and whatnot, and kind of avoid those landmines so that they don't fall victim to some of the challenges that we're going to face in the months and years ahead. And so I think for them, the producers in particular, cost of goods, managing that effectively, leveraging our education and programming and the community. One of the things I should mention is that the beauty about our member community is that we've got folks that are seasoned producers and buyers that have been through sort of all the challenges in years past. And then we've got obviously a newer community of buyers and members, producers, and it's connecting them and helping sort of facilitate that mentoring and connection so that they'll learn from the folks that have been through this before. And so that's really our role, is to create those connections and facilitate more of an understanding so that we can help them navigate those challenges.
Absolutely. I love that. Creating connections, bolstering community. That's what it's all about. Bill Lynch, president of the Specialty Food Association, the man that makes it happen. Thank you so much for joining us, Bill. It's an honor. Congratulations on another successful show.
Thank you, Susan. And thanks to the Food Institute for your continued support. We very much appreciate it.
Thank you so much. All right. Well, that is it for this block, but we will be back with more amazing coverage. When we come back, I'll be interviewing Ernesto Otero of Mom's Organic Market, and we'll also be showing a snippet from the Taste It Live stage. There's going to be an Italy demo. Yum, Italian food. Who can say no? It's coming back to you all right here at the live stream coverage show of the 67th annual Summer Fancy Food Show right here at the Javits Center in New York City. We'll be right back. yeah, that we planned.
If I get nervous,
And,
I don't do it.
Welcome back to live stream coverage of the 67th Annual Summer Fancy Food Show right here in New York City. My name is Susan Choi. I'm so happy that you are with us. I am excited to speak with our next guest because I'm a big fan of this market. I mean, who doesn't love this market? His name is Ernesto Otero, and he is the Director of Category Management of Mom's Organic Market. Such a great company. Ernesto, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so Ernesto, tell us a little about yourself and about your role with Moms.
Yeah, sure. So I have been in grocery buying for the last 8 years. I started on a non-grocery retailer, got exposed to what I would say some world-class merchants, and they gave me the fundamentals and some of the expertise around how to optimize the product life cycle, the importance of supplier partnerships, as well as looking at metrics and reviewing data from an analysis perspective. And so the only thing I'm more passionate about retail is food. And so thankfully I found an opportunity to do both. So working in specialty food and retailing. And I'm actually celebrating my first year with Mom's Organic Market here at Fancy
Congratulations.
Food. Thank you.
That is wonderful. So tell us, you are here. It's day one at the show. What are your thoughts so far?
It's amazing. I really like to see how excited and how packed the expo is, and it's really good to see the international footprint here at SFA. I'm seeing a lot of great partners, and it's really exciting to see some old friends as well.
That's wonderful. Now, Mom's Organic Market, it's a great brand with a well-known reputation, a great story, and you guys are known for really curating, when it comes to the product selection, what you guys stock on your store shelves.
Sure.
You want to cut out the highly processed stuff.
Absolutely.
You want to promote clean, organic, right, sustainable. I mean, tell me, what is it that you're looking out for? What are you thinking about when you're on those show aisles, looking at all that this show has to offer?
Yeah, great question. I think first and foremost, this is like green, sometimes black and white logo that says USDA approved. It's a certification for being a certified organic product, and that's extremely important to us, if not the most important. There are several tiers and levels within the organic certification. However, if you are officially certified, there's a really good chance you're going to have a high success rate with us here at Mom's. And furthermore, there are certain preservatives, colors, flavors that are artificial, and those are things that we're not looking for. As well as just keeping in mind certain dietary needs for the customer. So we're still looking for gluten-free. We're looking for unique items, specialized product, as well as maintaining our local presence. So like knowing the story about where the product is, where it's coming from, is also extremely important to us.
Right, right. And can you tell me, what specifically, do you have any specific goals, at the show? Are you like, okay, I want to look for plant-based, this
Right.
year, or like, okay, I want to look for like beverage, like Mom's needs more beverages. Like what's, can you give us like a little
Sure.
sample at
Sure,
least? I'm
sure.
sure you can't share with us any secrets, but what?
Absolutely. Well, I'll say there's a great market right now for cheese and bread. So like some of our more fresh or indulgence like departments or categories. So we're looking for antipasti, we're looking for olives, cheddar. There's some troubles overseas, and so getting more of the cut and wrapped cheese is also extremely important to us, as well as some fresh tortillas, right? So we'll be on the floor definitely looking for some of those key items.
All right. Well, I mean, we had a guest earlier, Jonathan Deutsch of Drexel University, and he was saying, for him specifically too, and he's seen it as a trend, it's all about spice.
Right.
It's all about flavor. So, ethnic foods, I mean, they provide, that type of palette.
Absolutely.
So it seems like no-brainer tortillas.
Absolutely. Yeah, and we just launched our international set last year, and our buyer's going to be here. We're working together to go collaborate further. I'm really excited to try some Indian foods while I'm here at the show, and we're going to see how we can take things to the next level.
Yes, absolutely. So as a, being on the other side, right? You're not an exhibitor. You are here looking at the exhibitors, right? So I'm sure our viewers would want to know as well, what advice would you want to give to exhibitors, when they're at a show like this?
Sure.
How can they catch someone like you?
I think the best thing to do is to have a clean and aesthetically pleasant packaging, right? I'd also say that we're looking for ingredients, those attributes that are really important, that calls out some of the product ingredients that are necessary. And I mentioned a few, like non-GMO, if it's going to be fair trade. We're looking for if it's gluten-free, things that low calorie, high protein. Those are things that are not as necessarily as important, but having an exhibitor who's excited to tell their story, aligning their pitch, if you will, to our mission is so important as well. So having that upfront information definitely helps us figure out how we're going to do business together.
That's a great point. I love what you mentioned. It's like the exhibitor really has to put on the hat of the buyer.
Yes.
You can't just be like, I want to just get purchase orders. You have to be like, who's my target, right? Like, who am I, and who am I trying to attract the attention of?
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense. I actually remember a case study that my sister was studying in business school. It was about the line Kate Spade, and she was starting with her husband, and they knew from the beginning that they wanted to attract luxury retailers, because apparently when they were starting out at trade shows, Kmart, Kohl's, Target, Macy's, they were all coming up to them with interest, and they said no. And it cost them because they were up and coming, so they weren't producing a profit, but they were waiting. They were waiting for Bloomingdale's. They were waiting for Neiman Marcus. They knew.
Yep.
So it seems like, speaking to your point, it's like you need to be very targeted, right? Like as an exhibitor, ideally. Like
Absolutely.
Who am I, like specific retailers, like who am I looking for?
Right. Absolutely. I mean, we have a very specific customer type.
Yeah.
We're well renowned for our ingredient ban list. We've got 100 or 100 plus on that list, 100 on our watch list. And we're proud of that, right? And our intent is the protection of the environment, and we're not going to bend to that. And so our customer base knows when they're looking for a product, they trust us to have that.
Absolutely.
And so as our exhibitors keep that in mind, I think it makes the conversation a lot easier for us to do business together.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's probably a big reason why people love your brand, because you don't compromise. And especially, in the way that our world is right now, people want to look for brands that they can trust.
Yes.
So that I think that's great. So how about Mom's relationship with the Specialty Food Association? Can you talk about that?
Yeah, it's been amazing. It's been a great journey. Super proud of the relationship that we have. everything from the conversations. A lot of the SFA members have years of experience inside the grocery industry, and so a lot of times it's validating opinions or sharing insights for the past, present, and future. They help us get to these events. They let us know when these events are happening, and that's so important. Every buyer, of course, everyone in the world now has so much happening at any given point. The FSA keeps us on schedule, keeps us organized, and that's great. On top of that, they give us this platform, right, to share insights with the friends in the community, and that's kind of an irreplaceable relationship. So it's been great so far, and I'm really looking forward to what we continue to do together.
That's great, Ernesto. Okay, I have one last question for you before I release you into the wild of the Fancy Food Show. One final question. What are you specifically looking forward to, whether it's a product, a category, a pavilion, a specific event that you know is happening? What are you looking forward to?
I think there's so many great speakers. I'm definitely going to be sitting around in the audience and getting educated and seeing their perspective on what's coming and why it's coming. We've mentioned some of the targets that we have as far as the food goes, but some of my favorite personally, sauces, seasonings, spices, as well as snacks. I'm big on cheese puffs, so hopefully there's something out there for us. And of course, there's always opportunities to meet with our current brand partners, see what's new and innovative from a flavor profile. There's line extensions. Really just looking for it all, to be honest with you.
Yeah, exactly. And I love what you just mentioned. You're also looking forward to catching up with established partners. And that's another great feature of shows like this, right? It's like you can touch base with people that you already have relationships with. Absolutely. All right. Well, Ernesto Otero, Director of, oh my gosh, see my notes. Director of Category Management. Hooray! We're running this live stream for 2 hours. Please bear with me. Ernesto Otero, Director of Category Management for Mom's Organic Market. Great brand, great position, great person. Ernesto, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Well, we're going to take it now to another on-the-ground event happening live. We're going to take it over to the Taste It Live stage, where we have a demo going on. The Taste It Live stage is an area where you can get a more intimate look at what different pavilions are doing. And I believe, Mr. Jordan Wickland, you are witnessing the Italy demo that's happening. It sounds delicious. Can you give us more insight to what's going on?
I wish I could, Susan. The water has yet to boil, so they're going to begin in about 5 to 6 minutes. Once that water's nice and piping hot, they're going to be making a traditional Italian cheese sauce, I believe. I couldn't hear the correct title, unfortunately, but they assured me it is going to be delicious. A fresh taste of Rome right here at the Gellert Center in New York City via the Specialty Food Association.
All right, Jordan Wickland, thank you so much. That is a shame. See, but this is the beauty of live television. We have things planned, but that's life. Sometimes things don't always go according to plan. But Jordan, I thank you so much for that riveting summary of what is going to happen at the Taste It Live stage, the Italy demo. We're just going to take a quick commercial break, but don't go anywhere, because we are definitely going to have more great coverage of the Summer Fancy Food Show when we come back. Stay with us.
I'm always looking.
All right. Well, this is Brian Choi. I'm managing partner and CEO of the Food Institute. Susan is not here because she's on her way up for a special interview with one of our sponsors, Atalanta. But in the meantime, I'll be covering for her, and we're continuing to talk about what's happening here at the 67th Annual Summer Fancy Food Show. So I'm here with Andre Hamilton. And Andre, thanks for coming on our program today.
Well, thank you so much for having me. This is really fun.
All right. Well, talk to us a little bit about what you're feeling on day one of the Fancy Food Show.
Yeah, it's so energizing and exciting. One of my favorite things is getting to meet with our customers face to face and hear their stories directly from them. And it's really inspiring for our whole team that's here and to get to meet so many incredible entrepreneurs. And we're really happy to have a booth this year. We're number 344 in case anyone wants to check us out or meet the team.
All right. So how important is it to come to these shows, for fair? And like, what specifically are you looking for in terms of items and products that really catch your eye?
Yeah, so I think at Fair, we have a really interesting lens with which we can view the consumer because we have over 700,000 independent retailers from across 50,000 cities.
Wow.
And they're buying on Fair to serve their end consumer. So a couple of broader trends that we're seeing are sustainability and well-being. On the sustainability side, consumers everywhere across categories are really looking for products that align with their values. And the majority of consumers are taking into account in their decision-making sustainability when they're shopping. And we've seen this on Fair with eco-friendly products quadrupling since 2020.
Wow.
And in terms of numbers purchased.
Wow. So what's really driving the sustainability push? So talk to us a little bit about what the factors that lead up to consumers wanting these types of products.
Yeah, it's a broader shift that we're seeing in the industry. We actually just ran a big consumer study where we saw that consumers are saying they care more about the quality of the products that they're purchasing than they do about the convenience of buying them. And that's a big change that has just started to happen recently.
Got it. So I want to talk a little bit about Fair's business model and how that compares to some of the other wholesalers out there. Talk to us a little bit of what differentiates Fair's business strategy compared to the other wholesale retailers out there.
Yeah. So at Fair, our mission is really to empower the retail entrepreneur, and whether it's a artisan chocolate maker that's just getting started in wholesale for the very first time, or it's an enterprising shopkeeper that's opening their 4th or 5th location. And we've all seen over the years how industry has disrupted almost every industry.
Yeah.
But B2B retail and wholesale was largely untouched until Fair launched in 2017. And our founders actually met at Square, another company that uses technology to help small businesses. And they saw just how important technology could be and how impactful it could be for those small businesses in leveling the playing field.
Yeah.
So we try and do that a few ways at Fair in terms of our differentiation. For the retailer side of the marketplace, we use a data-driven approach. So we use data science and machine learning in order to help retailers and brands efficiently make new relationships and to help retailers find the products that will fit best for their store. And that's different because it used to be a financial and cost burden, and you would have to buy in large quantities just a few times a year. And so we've made that a little bit more efficient in terms of discovery. We also offer free returns on new brands and payment terms in order to take the risk out of buying online. And that's something, again, that wasn't always offered to smaller retailers. It was typically reserved for larger retailers or big box chains. So that's the retailer side of the marketplace. On the brand side of the marketplace, in addition to just being a huge opportunity for growth, given we have hundreds of thousands of new retail customers, we also offer marketing, sales, analytics tools in order to help simplify their business and their wholesale business and hopefully give them time back to focus on making their great products. So that's a little bit about Fair and some of our differentiators.
Yeah, I love the leveraging the technology and the data to make it easier for both the retailers and the brands, make a difference in what they're trying to do, right? So I love that. Disruption is something that is constantly needed in this industry. The food industry has somewhat lagged, compared to the other industries out there. So I'm glad you're bringing technology and efficiency to the forefront. So a little bit about your background, Andre. You were a consultant before coming
many years ago.
So talk to us in this sort of environment, like post-COVID. Whether entrepreneurs or even like independent retailers out there, how has the business environment changed now for both of these cohorts of businesses? Is it easier now? Is it harder? Talk to us a little bit about what you're seeing.
Well, I think it was just a really big change. One interesting thing we are seeing on Fair, I kind of mentioned it earlier about the focus on well-being. So I would say consumers have really become, like post the pandemic, where we really realized how important it is to take care of yourself. They've become much more attuned to what they're putting on and inside their bodies. And that is supported by that data we found in the survey of really caring about the quality of goods. So I think that's a big shift and something that has definitely come out of the pandemic and all of our experiences that I'm seeing on both sides of the market, retailers and brands are reacting to in order to serve that consumer need.
Yeah, got it. Well, my last question for you, Andre, is there a particular product that for the show that you're like, I really want to see this category or this product, anything that caught your eye thus far? I know it's still day one of the Fancy Food Show, so talk to us a little about what you're seeing.
Yeah, there's so many amazing brands. I think one interesting thing is taking what we're seeing on Fair and kind of applying it, and it has definitely been a filter as I've been browsing the show. So there's a few specific categories that have been jumping out with food and beverage. One is tinned fish. We've seen tinned fish has grown 130% year over year on the platform, and now it's in the top 2% of most popular categories within food and beverage on Fair. A second one is non-alcoholic beverages, which kind of calls back to that well-being point and trend that we're seeing. And those have grown 450% from 2021 to 2022. We've also seen searches for adaptogen grow 85% year over year, and seen the formation of a lot of adaptogenic beverages within the category. And then finally, I'll say, and I've noticed a few of these superfood snacks, searches for seaweed have doubled in the last year. And now 75% of our top products in the health and wellness category contain seaweed. So I'd say those are the three that I've definitely been like keeping an eye out because they're doing so well on fair these days.
Well, I'll definitely be checking out those products here at the 67th Annual Summer Fancy Food Show. Here with Andre Hamilton. She is the head of retail sales at Fair. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me. This is really great.
Excellent. All right, so we're going to turn it over to our friend Ron Tanner, who is at the Morocco Pavilion. So Ron, take it away. Let us know what you're seeing.
So
Hi, this is Ron Tanner, reporting from the Moroccan Pavilion. Morocco is the sponsor country of the Summer Fancy Food Show. They've got about 35 exhibitors here from Morocco. A lot of great products, olive oil, fish, argan oil, lots of different things. And we're here with Atmani, who has worked at the Fancy Food Show for many years and has a company called Atlas Olive. And he's going to tell us a little bit about the company and why he likes being at the Fancy Food Show. Atmani, tell us a little bit about your company.
Atlas Olive Oil is a 4 generations family company. It has a tradition for olive oil since my great-grandfather, since more than 125 years. Today we are known to be the gardeners of the desert. We cultivate our olive trees in the middle of a desert that is very harsh, where temperatures get very hot in the summer and a lot of rocks in the soil. So the trees, they stress, and their survival instinct is to produce abnormally high quantities of polyphenols. And that's what the American consumers want nowadays. They want to have olive oils that are rich in polyphenols. That means they just don't want to drink olive oil. They want to drink an oil that is going to be good for health. And we are also to be 360 degrees company, meaning 360 degrees company around the olive tree. So Atlas Olive Oil has of course, produced some of the best awarded internationally olive oils in the world that we sell here in the US, online and offline. And also, we also produce food supplements based on the leaves and the baby leaves and the olives. And we also produce excellent charcoals, charcoal products for barbecue, charcoal for horticultural, for plants, helping grow plants. So it's really a planet where everything is recycled, ecologic, and we do good for the planet. We are the only Moroccan olive oil company to be carbon certified. So we are thankful for the Morocco government and the Morocco Food X Association that organized this show here, the booth. We have more than 40 companies coming. Usually we have 20, so today is a booming edition, and they do everything so that the Moroccan exporters can do their best in the US.
So you use all parts of the olive tree?
Yes, interesting to see. So for instance, that's our charcoal. It's smoke-free, sparks-free, and also chemicals-free. It burns 3 times longer, and it's healthier because it doesn't have the particles inside the smoke. Since it's smoke-free, it doesn't make any smoke. So when you grill your meat, you don't have the bad particles sticking into your meat. So this is made from the pits, the branches from the pruning, and it's made also from the pulp of the olive. So it's really a world where nothing is lost, everything is recuperated.
Well, thank you very much. I know the upcycling is very big in the United States now, and it sounds like you've been doing it for 125 years. So thank you for spending time with us. We're going to walk up and see some of the other exhibitors. Good luck on the rest of the show.
Very nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you. So of the 40 companies here, there are a lot of olive oil companies. and we are going to go visit now a company that does seafood. A lot of great seafood comes from Morocco, sardines, various other different things. So we're walking up to a company called Pelique, and hopefully looks like they're talking to a buyer. So we're here to talk. Do you have a minute? So, no, that's fine, Amani. Tell us a little bit about the company, about the products you have, and why you like to be at the Fancy Food Show.
We are pelagic industry. It's a Moroccan company of cannery, of sardine, mackerel, and tuna. We are based in Agadir in Morocco. And we are like a new ultra-modern company with the highest technology. We have like 1 million, we have a capacity of 1 million cans produced by day. And we are here to show our products and to see what we can do, what we can add in United States markets.
1 million cans is a lot of cans. You must have a pretty big factory.
That's the biggest one in Morocco, exactly. Yeah.
Who do you expect to sell to in the United States? Are you looking for distributors? Are you looking for supermarkets? Who are going to be your customers?
Well, to be clear with you and very honestly with you, we are open to any suggestion or any type of customers. But we are not new in this industry, and before we was working with more with distributor people and a little bit of direct customers. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Good luck at the Fancy
Thank
Food
you
Show.
so
Sorry
much.
to interrupt you when you were with
No,
the buyer.
absolutely not. At any time.
But hopefully we'll be bringing some more your way.
Thank you.
You can see it in the Moroccan tradition when they're doing some business. They drink tea. Can you the tea server over here? So they have a server that walks around through the pavilion and brings tea to them as they are having their meetings. So a nice thing to do, a nice way to kind of relax and do the business. So, we're going to walk up here where they are doing some demos. You can see he is walking around a traditional Moroccan outfit there. They want to show the authenticity of the country. And now we're going to try to catch Yasmina before she heads off to her demo. And we will just have a minute or two, but they are showing great Moroccan products. When around her, so. Yasmina, can we grab you for a minute before you go?
Yes.
Okay.
Do you want to be in or
No, I want you to tell me what you're doing here and some of the great products are, and hold it just like that.
like this?
Yes. Yeah. Yasmina is the chef for the Moroccan Pavilion. Explain what you're doing.
Hi, it's been such a treat getting to create with the people and letting them know about the flavors. Closer. This is good? Hello? Yes. We are in the process of finishing this. So we share with people what it is the flavors that such the saffron and the ginger all together. The tagine is what we are most known for cooking clay. We have one cooking right here. If you want to take a look of the way it's cooked, it cooks in here. It is served in here, and it's also stored in here, which is a beautiful thing and a beautiful way to sustainably create food. And there's a great comeback to that right now. So the flavors of Morocco are about aged and new with the saffron. So this is what we've been doing. We also have featured the Moroccan sardines, the products that we are most known for are seafood. We export a lot of it, and we're very happy to be present with that here at the show. A lot of sardines, anchovies, our great olive oils, so many to choose from, and it's been absolutely epic getting to really share that with everyone. So thank you.
Just one more question. You're doing a cooking demonstration in about 5 minutes. So anybody, if you're live at the show, you can go see what Yasmina is doing and taste it. So what are you going to be preparing over there?
I'm going to show, I will be showing people how to make the tagine, how to create with a clay pot, because I do believe that if you have that pot, you can really create easily and make amazing food taste beautiful. I'm gonna make also a sweet dish that is called bagrir, which is our crepe that is naturally vegan, with amlou, which is featuring the argan oil of Morocco, that we are most known for, and the almond paste, and the eggplant caviar. And also an eggplant caviar that we are very famous for called louk, roasted eggplant caviar. So we'll make those three things. Everybody can go and understand how to work with Moroccan spices and how to create authentically.
Thank you very much, and good luck at your demonstration. I think we're going to finish up here soon, so we can head over there. But you can see we're walking down here, the rest of the Moroccan pavilion, and heading over and go see somebody who's just Argan oil, which is very typical Moroccan product. So we'll walk a little bit faster. So, okay, we're going to keep walking a little bit faster here and see somebody who's making Argan oil and learn a little bit about the Argan oil. So we're going up to the Argan Oil Company. I'll keep going here. And it looks like he's having a business meeting too. They're doing well here. Can you talk for a minute? Yeah. Ron, so tell us a little bit about your product.
We are producers of Argan oil. We are the second exporter of Argan oil in the world. And first of all, Argan is only in Morocco today. And we have just a problem here in USA because there is a lot of landing of oil, fake oils here in New Jersey. That's it. Thank you.
And what is the Moroccan oil used for primarily? Is it a cooking oil? Is it a finishing oil? How is it utilized by consumers?
There is for use. There is for food grade and for cosmetic grade also. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you very much. I hope you have a good rest of the Fancy Food Show. And with that, we're going to throw it over to Susan Choi, who's moved from her TV studio over to the Atlanta booth. So it's up to you, Susan. It's yours.
Okay, all right. Well, I am here out of the main stage, really happy to be on the floor myself, where all the action is, and what better place is there to be that at the booth of our platinum sponsor. What an amazing booth here by Atalanta Corporation, our platinum sponsor, and it's part of the wonderful family of businesses owned by the Gellert Global Group. And I am here with 1/3 of the royalty of the Gellert Global Group, Tom Gellert, who is president of Atalanta Corporation and principal of the Gellert Global Group. Just a force to be reckoned with in the food import world. Tom, thank you so much for joining us.
Susan, you're too kind. Thank you so much for having me here. Welcome.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you so much for being a part of this show. Now, tell us a little bit about the Gellert Global Group.
Gellert Global Group is a family collection of food importing businesses across North America. Family business founded by my grandfather. Today, we have multiple family members involved in the business. My father is still very active in the business. My uncle, my brother, my sister, cousin, some nieces and nephews here. My kids have been involved in some things. We have a whole group of us helping us. And we import food from over 60 countries, selling it across North America to food service, retail, industrial customers. Really every channel, we sell customers from the Ritz-Carlton to Aldi. So we're really touching all bases. So we're just trying to make everyone, trying to be part of every food experience for every person across North America.
Absolutely. You know, and that is the slogan, to be a part of every food experience. You see that up above right there, Emily, if we could get a shot up there. Such a beautiful booth right here. You know, Tom, as Emily is shooting all of this, can you give us more of an explanation about how Atalanta Corp fits into the Gellert Global Group?
Sure. Atalanta was the original member, per se, of the Gellert Global Group. We've acquired other companies through acquisitions. Atalanta was founded right after World War II by my grandfather, initially importing hams from Eastern Europe. Over the close to 80 years, the business has diversified meats, specialty meats, cheeses, canned goods, specialty groceries. Here you can see a lot of artisanal charcuterie that we've sourced mostly from Italy, Spain, a little from Germany as well. So we're just trying to solve customer needs across those different channels that I mentioned, food service and retail, and really bringing value by sourcing unique ingredients, value products to people's plates across the country.
Absolutely. So, one can safely assume, as you guys are the country's largest privately held food importer, brand acquisitions are a big part of Atalanta's business. Can you tell us about your most recent acquisition, which I believe is Sonoma?
Sure. We just bought the assets of Sonoma Creamery. It's a historic California-based cheese company, the original producers of Pepper Jack in the United States. The brand was sort of neglected in their former owners as they were focusing on other activities. So we thought it was a great opportunity to put new life in this great historic domestic cheese brand and bring it beyond the West Coast. And also, in maybe today's environment, has a specialty cheese with a little more value thought proposition to some of the high-end specialties that we typically do. So we're very excited. We closed this deal about a month ago, and hopefully we can grow it.
That's awesome. Okay, let's not wait 1 minute more. Let's take a look at this amazing booth. Emily, let's start walking over to our right here. Got a lot of action going on. We're going to weave our way through. Forgive us, viewers at home. There's a lot of people, a lot of interest at Atalanta. Okay, so Tom, you're picking up. Look at that. I see a very familiar brand right there. Tell us about this.
So Cipriani, obviously an iconic Italian food brand, restaurants around the world, a real high-end destination place for people to go to eat. Their food brands was recently given to our De Medici division, De Medici Imports, which is right behind me, to be the exclusive importer of all their branded goods. So we're very excited about this. Really adds a nice level of cachet and a real halo effect to the whole organization. So we're very excited about having the Cipriani brand in our portfolio.
That's awesome. I love that. All right, so moving on, just an amazing, I love this. This is on like antipasti type stuff, just delicious. Tell a little bit about what's going on.
We're sourcing high-end ingredients from the Mediterranean, from South America, Peru, Italy, Greece, and really ways that people can get very high-quality, Mediterranean diet foods across olive bars, Mediterranean bars, food service applications, and really fits our needs. So we're very proud of our selection here.
Absolutely. And coming in over here, we see some delicious spreads.
The Dalmatia brand is, I think, everyone who's ever seen a cheese case at any deli across the United States has seen this jar. We're the exclusive importers for Dalmatia, mostly fig spread, but many other flavors as well. Made in Croatia, and it's sort of a staple at every high-end specialty deli, and we're real proud to be associated with this company.
And I do see some delicious looking cheeses here. Eiffel Tower, Triple Cream Brie, the Celebrity line. Please tell us.
Now, this Celebrity Goat Cheese is a brand that we own, and we've worked with a family dairy in Eastern Ontario called Mariposa Dairy. They've been producing goat cheese for us for many years. We've really seen a lot of growth on our Celebrity brand through iconic flavors, not just goat, but we recently introduced sheep as well. Do I see sheep? Oh, here's some sheep, like lavender honey, and we've seen great growth. I mean, there's a lot of goat logs out there and many flavors, but the sheep has been a new introduction. We're actually teaming up with some influencers across different markets to get professional athletes and sort of this Be the Goat campaign. So suggest that you follow Celebrity Goat on social media and on their website. So
awesome. I love that. All right. So moving on, we see more of the Celebrity line. And then we have some cheese. Aha!
Here's the Sonoma Creamery, the traditional Jack Heat cheese from California. Very proud to be representing this. We have it in chunks and slices. Slices are not here today. We've also seen a lot of growth in paneer. As Indian food becomes more mainstream and more approachable to consumers, we've put a lot of emphasis on the Royal Mahout brand. Also, you can follow them on social media as well, in plain and in flavors. And we've seen a lot of growth in sort of South Asian cuisine, and we're happy to be able to fit that for consumers. Dairy, another association we have with a company in Ohio, the America's oldest family-owned creamery, felt that they could reach more consumers by giving us the rights to distribute their butter, their artisanal butter, across the United States. So a new relationship that we're very excited about as well.
Excellent, excellent. All right, so going over here, it never ends. The fun never ends. It's amazing.
So here we have a selection of premium English cheese brands from Belton Farm, which is in Wales. We have the Red Fox, the Smoked Red Fox, Saxonshire brands as well. Welsh Cheddar, Colliers. I have to mention this. This is from the Devon Creamery. My daughter's name is Devon, so I have to mention this. And they do butter, beautiful Devon cream, clouded cream. That's perfect. Wimbledon's coming up, so it's a good time to have cloud cream and high tea. So we're very happy with our British collection here. Snowdonia is another Welsh cheese product. This is made in it's a natural preserve in Wales, where the Snowdonia factory is, and it's a very high-end premium brand. This one's Cave Aged, called Rockstar, and yeah, we've seen a lot of just good dedication from our consumers on these brands as well.
That's excellent. You know, and we'll just we'll park it right over here. And we'll just, you know, so many brands. I mean, I wish we could go on and on. I mean, it just keeps going. It's amazing. You know, Tom, can you tell us, you know, what other, you not only have wonderful brands on display, but there's some exciting things that you're offering in the coming days, and maybe some special guests coming by the booth?
So part of Atalanta, we have the Medici Imports Division, which really focuses on the high-end, premium, shelf-stable products that you would find at Whole Foods, Sur La Table, Williams-Sonoma, these type of stores, really focusing on the premium. That's where the Cipriani brand is. So on Tuesday, Massimo Bottura, world-famous chef from Ostia Francescana, will be at our booth, cracking wheel of Parmigiano Reggiano. We sell his balsamic vinegar, his cherry balsamic vinegar, and his collection of olive oils under the Villa Mondadori brand. So we're excited to welcome Max as an old friend. We're excited to have him at the show and generate some interest. So come by on Tuesday. Come by every day, but come by Tuesday as well.
Absolutely. What a treat. I'm such a fan of Massimo Bottura. Now, Tom, to wrap it all up, you know, going back to, you know, the main slogan of Atalanta, to be a part of every experience. You guys are a family-owned business, and you say you're a family-oriented business. Relationships, very important to you. Talk to us. How do you maintain those relationships? How do you build new relationships? Oh, we have a special guest here.
You talk about relationships. Paolo, how long do we know each other?
31 years.
31 years. We have a relationship with the best producer of prosciutto di Parma in all of Italy. So we respect these relationships. His son's here now, so the next generation of his company. We went to a baseball game the other night with his son and my son Levi, and hopefully we bring that relationship again to the next generation. So our supplier relationships are everything. They're more than just a contractual relationship. It's really a friendship. It's deep. They're invited to each other's weddings and birthday parties. So it's really core to what we do, and they're very part of our selling process. Our customers know them. They really get to know the authenticity of those products. You know, I like to talk about the who, what, where, when, and why of the products, and they answer the questions of who's behind it, what's in the product, where's it from. That authenticity is so important, and having suppliers that can bring that to our customers is key.
Wow. And sir, can you share with us the importance of the relationship with Atalanta with us?
As Tom said, is a third generation relationship. So it's a long relationship from generation. First of all, is the personal relationship and the personal trust and personal confidence, and then also is business. And the business grew up after the personal relationship. First is personal, and then is business.
I love that. Thank you so much for stopping by. Well, I mean, what better way to end the show with that? I mean, such a wonderful moment right there. That's what Atalanta is all about. Am I right?
Absolutely. It's really what gets us excited, my family excited, just dealing with people like Paolo and many of our suppliers that are here. So yes, we're excited and we're thrilled to be associated with the Food Institute.
Thank you so much, Tom. Tom Gellert, president of Atalanta Corp and principal of Gellert Global Group. Tom, thank you so much.
Thanks, Susan. Take care.
All right, and that is a wrap for day one of coverage from the Summer Fancy Food Show, 67th Annual 2023 SFA Summer Fancy Food Show. From the Atalanta booth, our platinum sponsor, atalantacorp.com for more information, your go-to source for specialty goods from cheeses, frozen seafood, meats, prosciutto, antipasti, you name it, they have it. Thank you so much to our sponsors for that. I'm Susan Choi, and I thank you for watching. See you tomorrow on day 2 of the Summer Fancy Food Show.